Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TTV News with some last events in our province, and I will come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on May the 29th chaired the fourth dialogue between the government leader and the farmers held in the northern mountainous province of Sơn La. The dialogue was connected to 62 provinces and cities nationwide and attracted the participation of over 3,400 delegates. At the press point, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee Nguyễn Mạnh Hùng and Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee Trần Văn Chiến chaired the conference. Chairman of the Vietnam Farmers Union Lương Quốc Đoàn said that towards this dialogue, more than 1,600 questions, proposals, and recommendations from farmers, cooperatives, businesses, and scientists were sent to the Prime Minister. They focus on restoration of agricultural production after the COVID-19 pandemic, land-related issues, promotion of links between farmers and businesses, capital and credit, rural environment, vocational training for the rural workers, climate change in the Mekong Delta, and infrastructures in the northwestern region. The Prime Minister said that the party and the state have always been consistent in their stance and have issued many important policies and strategies affirming the role and position of agriculture, rural areas, and farmers in the country's development process. The government also pays special attention to agriculture, rural areas, and farmers, in which priority is given to perfecting institutions, mechanisms, and policies implementing large and important projects and strategies on agriculture, rural areas, and farmers also. In recent years, agriculture has been restructured towards modernity, consumption market has been expanded, and export turnover has increased strongly. The material and spiritual lives of the farmers have been improved, and poverty rate has decreased rapidly. Agriculture, rural areas, and farmers have made important contribution to the country, stabilizing the macroeconomy and ensuring the major balances, he said. And the Prime Minister also stressing that they are the basis and the important force for rapid and sustainable socio-economic development, and agricultural and rural development and improvement of the farmers' lives are the key tasks of the whole political system, and the farmers and the subjects and the center of the development process. The government leader asked ministry sectors and agencies, especially the Vietnam Farmers Union, to listen to and perhaps the needs and aspirations of farmers, promptly provide support to remove difficulties and obstacles in production and sale, and increase the value and efficiency. Mr. Phạm Minh Chính also stressed that it is also necessary to improve the investment environment, encourage investment in agriculture and rural areas, especially from the large enterprises and corporations, promote startup among farmers, support business development in rural areas, step up the application of science and technology, digital transformation, human resources training, and vocational training, innovation, and develop e-commerce in the agricultural sector.
On May 28th, the Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development Tay Ninh implemented a policy of supporting 2% interest rate per year for customers according to Decree number 31/2022 of the government, accompanying the government to implement measures to remove difficulties and support farmers affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Agribank Tay Ninh held a brand-wide implementation conference on regulations on interest rate support of 2% per year on the actual loan interest rate from the state budget for customers who are eligible for support. Specifically, customers supported under the decree are businesses, cooperatives, and business households, including aviation, transportation, warehousing, tourism, accommodation, catering, education and training, agriculture, forestry and fishery, processing industry, software manufacturing and publishing, computer programming and related activities, information service activities, including construction activities directly serving the above economic sectors, but excluding construction activities for real estate business purposes, according to Decision number 27/2018 of the Prime Minister. Activities using loan to implement projects to build social housing, housing for workers, and renovate old apartment buildings are on the list of projects compiled and announced by the Ministry of Construction. Customers have requests for interest rate support meeting loan conditions as required. Customers use capital for the right purposes and haven't been supported with interest rates according to other policies.
And in the morning of May the 29th at Human Châu District Park, Mr. Võ Đức Trong, standing vice chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, head of the steering committee for the Youth Development Program of Tay Ninh Province, attended the launching ceremony of the Summer Youth Volunteer Campaign, the year of 2022. This year, the Summer Youth Volunteer Campaign mobilized the participation of more than 2,000 soldiers on the front lines and was divided into 4 campaigns and 1 program. At the opening ceremony, Mr. Võ Đức Trong handed the command flag to the Secretary Provincial Youth Union and launched the volunteer squads of the campaigns. At the launching ceremony today, I launched in all branches, on levels, and on sector forces together determined to successfully carry out the Summer Youth Volunteer Campaign in 2022. And asked the members of Steering Committee, People's Committee of the District, Towns and City, Union members and youth to pay attention to the implementation carried out activities with high efficiency, create positive values, and bring practical values to serve the community. On this occasion, Tay Ninh Provincial Youth Union also awarded symbolic balls, giving 1 camp cluster worth with about 50 million Vietnam dong to the children in Sunda Commune, donate 1 red calf house to the children in Phước Ninh Commune, and donated the project of lighting up the countryside with the solar lights worth with 30 million Vietnam dong implemented in Cầu Khởi Commune. The giving hand sanitizer to the young workers of Pu Hung Vietnam Company Limited worth with 150 million Vietnam dong, and a 50 million Vietnam dong statue to organize medical examination and treatment and give the gifts to the people with material services. Tay Ninh Provincial Youth Union also gave 50 welfare bags. It's worth about 500,000 Vietnam dong to disadvantaged households in Human Châu District. Immediately after the launching ceremony, the first activities in the campaign were organized by Tay Ninh Provincial Youth Union.
In the morning of May 29th, at Tay Ninh Vocational College, the Department of Labor, Village and Social Affairs coordinated with the Department of Education and Training to organize the 2022 Vocational Education Enrollment Consultation Day. Here, colleges, intermediate schools, and businesses introduce their operations as well as training professions, degree training, forms of training, demonstration of professional skills, etc. In addition, a large number of students were visited and directly consulted on careers and jobs at counseling booths of schools and businesses. This is an annual activity to help students actively orient their careers in accordance with family conditions and local development needs. It's also an opportunity for businesses and vocational education institutes to promote, introduce, and attract human resources to improve the quality of trained workers, contributing to creating jobs for workers, strengthening the local socio-economic development.
And ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, the demand for buying and using Vietnamese made goods has been increasingly trusted and chosen by the border people. And therefore, following the market trends, local grocers have selected items from agricultural machinery, work tools, personal items, and food from domestic brands, sell and serve the needs of the border people. For many businesses inside and outside the province, the market of Vietnamese goods on the border has helped them promote, introduce, and approach the market, and it is also an opportunity to grasp the needs, taste, and purchasing power of the people in the area, especially the border area. In April of 2022, Tay Ninh Province also organized a series of Vietnamese good markets on the border and remote areas, and these markets have helped bring Vietnamese goods closer to the people in remote areas and border areas also, at the same time creating opportunity for the businesses, cooperatives, production and business establishments to access the border market to widen their markets and consumption. And thanks to good control of the COVID-19 pandemic, the safe and flexible adaptation and taking advantage of free trade agreements FTAs, industrial production continued to the recovery trend. Many businesses in the province have quickly recovered, signed orders, boosted production, increased export turnover, and contributed to the increasing purchase revenue and completed the set targets. According to data released by the General Statistics Office on May the 29th, the Index of Industrial Production IIP in May of 2022 is estimated to increase by 4% over the previous month and by 10.4% over the same period last year. in which, compared with the same period last year, the processing and manufacturing industry increased by 12.1%, water supply management and treatment of waste and wastewater increased by 5.5%, mining industry increased by 4.2%, and electricity production and distribution increased by 2.4%. Generally, in the first 5 months of 2022, the industrial production index increased by 8.3% over the same period last year, although it has not returned to the pre-COVID-19 growth rate. By 5 months of IIP in the years of 2018 to 2019 increased by 10.3% and about 9.5%, but 8.3% is still a positive number now. In the first 5 months of the year, the processing and manufacturing industry increased by 9.2% in the same period and contributing to 7.2 percentage points to the overall growth. Electricity production and distribution increased by 5.5% and contribute to about 0.5 percentage point. In May, localities with large industrial scale have a positive growth trend also. Fortunately, the industrial production index in the 5 months of 2022 compared with the same period last year increased in 61 localities and decreased in only 2 localities across the country. This shows a clear recovery trend of the economy. And for the Ninh province in the first month of the year, the processing and manufacturing industry increased by 6.83% over the same period, in which a number of industries increased sharply, such as electrical equipment production increased by 39%, printing and copying records of all kinds increased by 21.7%, production of bread and cabinets, tables and chairs increased by 20.89%, textile industry increased by 14.81%, and food production and processing increased by 13.26% over the same period. The Management Board of Industrial Parks of the Ninh province has actively supported, created favorable conditions, and quickly resolved administrative procedures for investors and businesses to deploy projects and expand production. Business increase investment capital and thereby helping the business restore production and sign new orders of great value and boost production, making up for the difficult 2 years period affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. After recovering difficulties and problems were also quickly resolved and supported by the provincial leaders, agencies, departments and sectors, business wholeheartedly. As a result, investment attraction also flourished. In the first month of 2022, the province granted 2 new foreign investment projects with a total attracted capital of $212 million, split 1 project with a registered capital of $3 million, and capital increase for 6 projects with an increase of about $32.4 million. And by the end of April 2022, there were 347 valid foreign investment projects in the province with a registered capital of about $8,700 million. And in order to increase the health of enterprises in the coming time, the province will flexibly conduct investment promotion activities on the spot, promptly solve difficulties and problems, support the enterprises to boost production and business to increase the competitiveness, building technical barriers for imported products in order to support domestic products and increase the localization rates, continue to cut business conditions, simplify administrative procedures in the direction of creating favorable conditions for production and business enterprises to promote exports, and handle 70 to 80% of administrative procedures at level number 3 and level number 4, strengthen the handling of administrative procedures on the online platform, build an e-government, supporting logistics service businesses, production and business establishments in the field of commerce industry, to transform digitally, implementing policies on reducing loans interest rates, restructuring the debts and keeping the old debt groups intact, increase new loans to remove difficulties and facilitate capital for enterprises.
And that's all for the TTV News today. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.